year 2023-2024. In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 239, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as follows. On January 10, 2023, notice was sent to the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, Union County Local Source, and the clerk of the municipality. By state law, there is no smoking permitted in this building at any time. In addition to the listed items on this agenda, this Board of Education may discuss and act upon other items not specifically referred to herein, as is allowed at the regular scheduled monthly board meeting under the Sunshine Law. Roll call.
Ms. Carrillo.
Present.
Ms. Cintron.
Present.
Mr. Dela Cruz.
Present.
Mrs. Fleming. Ms. Pino. Ms. Rosada Quesada. Ms. Thomas. Ms. Armstead.
Present.
Dr. Berghammer.
Present. At this time, we would like to approve the minutes for regular meeting held on July 27, 2023. Copies of meeting has been handed to all board members already.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
All in favor, right? Roll call.
Ms. Carrillo.
Yes.
Ms. Cintron.
Yes.
Mr. Dela Cruz.
Yes.
Ms. Rosada Quesada. Yes. Ms. Armstead
Yes.
and Dr. Berghammer.
Yes. As you all know, this is one of the most favorite times for the meeting for me, hearing from the public. Members of the public desiring to make a public comment may come forward at this time. For those watching online, if you wish to make a comment or ask a question, please utilize the raise your hand feature on the online meeting platform. Please begin your comments by stating your name and address. Individuals are invited to speak on one topic at a time, and no individual will speak more than once until all individuals so desiring have spoken once. The public is reminded that to ensure the efficient and orderly operations of the meeting, members of the public will be limited to speaking on agenda items for 3 minutes. So as we have no one from the audience wishing to speak and there's no one online, we will now move to our next agenda item, which is our superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, everyone. Tonight on my report, I would like to welcome everyone for being here as we are ending our summer month and preparing for the school year. We're very excited for what is to come for 23-24. We are saddened to learn of some more retirements, but we are also thinking of it through a bittersweet lens that this is the time for some of our staff members to move on. So I'd like to publicly acknowledge the 3 staff members who are retiring, starting with Dave Boldock. He started in our district in 1995. And he started as a technology support person here, and he's been with us ever since. I've worked with Mr. Boldock in many capacities, but I think the best time we had together when he served as a DJ and I was just able to work the dance floor. So I'm more excited for all of the work that he has done in our district in the classroom with technology, and more importantly, outside of there to help with building community with our events. So, Mr. Boldock, we wish you an amazing retirement. Diane Kaleha, she was a part-time aide at school number 6, and she started in 2015. Ms. Kaleha has a very soft demeanor. We worked together over the years, and I wish you well, Ms. Kaleha. This is your time for you and your family. Lastly, we have a custodian, Mr. Robert Kretzer. He also started in 1995, and he'll be retiring from school number 8 as the head custodian. I actually got a chance to see him yesterday as we were doing one of our building tours, and I thanked him for the meticulous way the building was set. It was beautified and nice and clean. And he said, I can only do what I can do. And I said, well, keep on doing what you're doing because the building is ready for the students. So we wish him well. So we thank all of our employees who are retiring for your passion and dedication to the Linden Public Schools District. I also like to thank all of our 12-month staff members. You know, 12 months mean that we work over the summer. And that entails our administrators, all of our secretaries, all of the members from our business department, from transportation to payroll to accounting, as well as benefits, to all of the members in the admin building, to our technology, maintenance, custodians, building principals, supervisors, everyone who has been here this summer in central registration, nurses who have come in, guidance counselors who've been preparing with schedules, as well as Mr. Oliveira and our newly appointed Assistant Superintendent of Support, Ms. Lewis. I want to say thank you for carrying us through this summer and helping us to prepare for next week. Dr. Berghammer and I, along with Mr. Serapilia and our supervisors for maintenance, have been walking around doing building tours. And I know she'll have more to say in her report. But again, as our buildings have been upgraded and we're preparing for our students, I want to say thank you for a job well done. We will continue with making our upgrades, but it was great for me to just get out and see what we're doing. And we also have a lot more on our social media, so please, you can look into that. As we prepare for our students and staff to return next week, our 10-month staffers are coming in on Tuesday. It is a full day, a building day where principals will be carrying out their first day presentation. And in the afternoon, teachers and support staff will be there to get their classrooms ready. And then on Wednesday, it's our first full day, our district professional learning day. And then we welcome back our students on Thursday. I have a welcome video that will be going live tomorrow, and it is just to recap and to reassure and to reinvigorate everyone to get ready for an amazing 23-24 school year. We've moved over to Genesis Parent Portal, so it is crucial that all of our parents have checked their emails. For our new parents to our district, your emails have been provided by Central Registration. You must sign on there. Everything is on our website to help you navigate with preparing for the school year. Returning parents, you received an email as well, and you still have the same access that you've had before. And if you're unable to get on, again, you can contact the school, and they will be able to help you navigate with that. Student schedules are live, they are ready, and more importantly, that is the way that we will be communicating with you about your child's progress with their report cards, their interim reports. You'll be able to see their days absent and their discipline record, more importantly, their academic journey. So please make sure that you're aware that that is the way that we communicate. Genesis is our student information system. So we encourage everyone to make sure that they are active and able to get on. As we continue with celebrations, as we start off the new year, for the school academic year, Spanish Heritage Month is coming up. It starts September 15th through October 15th. So the schools will be recognizing another one of our cultures during this time. We're very excited. Our Spanish population is considered our highest student ethnicity population in our district, and it just gives us another opportunity to learn and grow together. So get ready. I'll be visiting the schools for those celebrations. So before I turn over, I have to give presentations this evening. I'll be presenting on the New Jersey Graduation Proficiency Assessment. I'll be presenting on New Jersey CUSAC results, as well as our access testing that took place. And I am very excited of where we're going. But I also like to just take a moment and recognize Quentin Perkins' family. Quentin Perkins passed away in July, and he was a student in our district, and he also has siblings still here in our district in elementary schools. And I know that his passing and his family, we've reached out to the family to offer our condolences, but we wanted to just take a moment and say, whether past or present, our students matter, and may Quentin Perkins rest in peace. So now I will begin with my presentations. But Dr. Berghammer, you just did make a point too, because I didn't touch on this. Our new staff orientation was this week, and so shout out to any of our new staff members. Is anyone here in the audience who attended new staff orientation? All right, okay, there you go. Welcome, good to see you again. And for those of you that are online, we had 3 days, 2.5 days of new staff orientation. And before I left on the third day, we did have a moment to find out how everyone was feeling. And we did receive some great responses that in words such as they felt like they were part of a community, they felt like they belong, blessed, invigorated, happy, excited, afraid. So I welcome all of the staff members who were there. Upon board approval this evening, you are considered a Linden Tiger. Welcome to the team. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
She said, "What rooms do I come here?" I was like, "Can I sit over there?" Are we all going?
I think I'm good seats.
Oh,
We-
right.
you can-
Keep carrying around.
I can see.
Okay. Good seeing you right here.
Hey, Cheryl.
Oh, no,
Who
I
are you?
can't see. I'm blind. I need glasses. Oh, I can see.
That didn't.
I'm not sitting there. Sure. Oh.
Okay. So the first presentation that I am given tonight is on New Jersey CUSAC presentation. New Jersey CUSAC stands for Quality. Why am I running a blank? Quality New Jersey help me out. I had it on here. I apologize. It's assurance. the
Quality
S.
single,
What's the S? What's the S?
single.
Single, quality single assurance compliance. Every school district has to be evaluated by the state. So we have our county superintendent office where I am considered the chief school administrator, and that our goal is to make sure that our district is in compliance with all of the regulations that come down from the state. The state gives us guidance of what we should be doing to ensure that we are a safe and secure district, as well as that we may not need any guidance from them. They evaluate us in 5 different areas, and I am pleased to say that we got our results back yesterday, on the 17th, and I have 60 days to present the results, and so here I am today, and I am pleased to say that we passed New Jersey CUSAC for this school year. So that means, as I stated, that we do not need any support from the state to show that we are a high and efficient school district. We are meeting our students' needs through our curriculum, through our facilities, through our evaluations that we do with our staff. And I'm going to get into a little bit more on the 5 areas of what we were evaluated in. So this is the letter that I received from the executive director of the Division of the Field of Support and Services from the Department of Education. And it states that in the 5 areas that we were evaluated in, we needed 100%, 80%, my apologies, in all 5 categories. Instruction and programming, we received 81%, fiscal management, 96%, governance, 95%, operations, 95%, and personnel. And so when this evaluation process takes place, they look at our curriculum online, they look at some of our state reports online, they also come into the district and we have to supply them with different forms of evidence to show that we are in compliance in these areas. They also walk around buildings with the business administrator to ensure that our facilities are up to par. They went to School 8, Seoul, and the high school during their evaluation timeframe, which took place in February of 2023. So again, CUSAC, here's the background of CUSAC, is designed to be single, comprehensive accountability system that consolidates and incorporates the monitoring requirements that is applicable to state and federal programs. The NJDOE has guided each district in a performance review to ensure that we are following the 5 key components that I just stated. The goal of CUSAC is to ensure that we are improving consistently, we are increasing in transparency, and that we are providing clarity to you all and our students and our entire school community. The 5 different areas of what they stand for, so look, just to break it down, with instruction and programming, it states that we are measured by student performance, so those were standardized test scores from the previous year, and also progress of graduation rates, analyzing student data, looking at our curriculums and our state standards to ensure that our curriculums are aligned with our state standards, and also that we're providing tiered support system to our students. So again, that was 81% that we scored in that area. The next area of fiscal management, they evaluated us on maintaining our monthly reports, our operating procedures, annual audits that take place in our district. It's safety reviews, preparing and analyzing our fiscal year cash flow, and also ensuring that all of our employees are certified in the right position. For governance, they looked at our curriculum, they looked at our budget process, they looked at our policies and procedures, they evaluated the previous superintendent and reviewed the previous superintendent's evaluation, and also they reviewed administrator contracts. In operations, they looked at student conduct, attendance, drug, alcohol, tobacco use, our HIB reports, harassment, intimidation, and bullying, and also our data that has to get loaded up to NJ Smart, our violence and vandalism report, and how we're maintaining a safe and healthy school climate. And lastly, they looked at our personnel. So they looked at the professional development that we carry out, and you'll see on tonight's agenda that we are putting forth our professional development plan for the school year. They look at our staff evaluations to ensure that they're aligned to New Jersey Teach Act. They looked at how we're supporting our new teachers, our mentoring program, supervisors, administrator evaluations, and I can go on and on. This was my first experience with gathering this data for CUSAC. And again, we are a high-performing district and we passed. That means that we have 3 years in this status, and then CUSAC will be coming back out again to evaluate us in the next 3 years. One of the areas that they give us a breakdown of where we fell in each category. So and for instruction and programming, while it was 80%, we are going to be using this as a guide to ensure that the next 3 years we have everything in place so that we are going up higher and that we will continue with this trend of passing New Jersey CUSAC. 3 years ago, we passed CUSAC, and now we're back at it again. On the New Jersey Department of Education website, when you're preparing for CUSAC, they give you reminders. So we're using this now to carry us through for the next 3 years. So just wanted to put that there. And that's the end of the first presentation for New Jersey CUSAC.
All right.
Members, everybody move over here so we can get it closer so everybody can see.
Any questions? On CUSAC?
I told you, you were supposed to keep them.
Oh, sure. You're the only one you listen to.
No, I didn't want to. I don't think they could. The podium in your way.
I forget a little quick sometimes.
I don't think I, right? You can hear me. Graduation for students to be that. Each year, our 11th graders have taken this graduation assessment, and those are in there to let us know where we are going and what else we need to do. From the assessment, students have an opportunity to get other measurements as graduation. The goal is that every student must pass graduation assessment. So that they will differ for the students in fall grade. I also put on this presentation, the website, under the Department of Education, because it provides a lot of information to students and, again, such as, what students can do to grow in their education. Really also provide information for, our creative students, our middle level students, and you'll see that, as I go. So what is the New Jersey graduation test? It measures the extent of whether the students are graduating, they're able to graduate, and they are proficient in English language arts and mathematics. The graduation readiness is reported separately for each content component. The component is aligned to 10 standards. The mathematics component includes algebra and geometry. And students with disabilities, IEPs, states that they are not eligible for the alternate assessment that I have been running at. They have to take the graduation assessment. On May 3rd, the State Board of Education approved the graduation ready cut score. And the cut score goes from, well, the score goes from 650 to 850. The cut score is 725. Students need to pass over 725. This score was raised higher than it was in previous years. And so when you see the results, you will see that there is a gap, there's a lower rate, but again, please keep it in mind. It will look different as we go through the upcoming school year. The recommended score lines with the statutory requirements for graduate proficiency assessment measures, the core skills that students need, and also the ready to graduate. So we will start with 2-year results in language arts. It's showing that the state score is blue and Linden is red. And so as you can see that the state score went up 80%, we went up 7.9%. And while we are not at the state score, I want you to look at the native growth. All right. compared from 2021 to 2022. If we look at the students by gender, it shows, and I was looking at the research and discussed this with our data assessment supervisor, who shared that females continue to score high in regards to men. So there isn't a large gap between them, but this is what the data is. If we have to break down the tested by ethnicity, you will see that students who identify as Asian, 81.3% pass compared to, I'm sorry, 82.8% of white students scored the highest, followed by Asian students, 81.3%. Then it's Hispanic Latino at 69%, and then finally, followed by Black at 65%. If you're looking from IEP to non-students with IEP, again, if the students from IEP did not take this test, they have to take this test if they did not have been fulfilled. So this one is normal for students with IEP to be at 32% compared to non-IEP students. But again, I'll move the slide and share some things that are going to be all population. If we look at the data by lunch, so students who are not rejected, 75.9% as compared to 66.9%. It's not a big gap, but it does show that it's expensive. When we move on to that, remember again, the state is blue and is red. While we didn't see too much growth, there still was growth that took place. From 21 to 22, while there's a gap there, we will talk to you about the rest of the things to have for the neighbors. For math by gender, okay, so the male scored 51% higher than female at 49%. Again, it was pretty close for the arts to now. So for math proficiency, students who are economically disadvantaged, non-economically disadvantaged, is 23%, 29.9%. So that you can see that that is not high as well, but it is still high in students who are identified as students with IEP, 2.7% pass compared to 30.8% who do not have IEP. By ethnicity, our Asian population, 62.5%. Our white population, 34.4%. Black African American, Hispanic Latino, 23%, and Black African American is 22.7%. So what part of this? The state also offers that. So it's just okay. So I have four students, what just go right to the last one. We have 100 in arts and 300 will be passed. So the state provides pathways. They're saying that students can retake the assessment multiple ways. They have the ACT reading test, they have Applicator, PSAT, SAT, and students are going to be given information because they are going to money. So this just doesn't that. On the pathway for that, has the when number that they gave a passing score to fulfill this role in passing for the New Jersey graduation proficiency. A third pathway, we consider pathway 3, is a portfolio fulfillment process. And what happens in our system is that at high school, that come together and they have identified these children that and then they learn that they have to take what we call a constructed response path. They will be given reading materials, they will have to answer questions, they will write components, they this portfolio is then evaluated by the teachers. They pass the portfolio, they created their score to pass with the NJ GPA. All of the constructive responses is going to be a list for constructive responses, open-ended, it's not just that responses, they can go in critically thinking, they are informative and explanatory, argumentative, or narrative responses that they will have to write about, also will be assessed on. This begins in January of 2020. And that same process, the appeal process, is a portfolio. They don't go all the way before they take the assessment, but again, it's constructive responses, but they're looking now at mathematical reasoning as well as expression. So students will be given information from numbers, quantity, algebra, and different statistics in order to learn and grow. They'll have to model it and then apply it. They'll have a rubric that they are guided on and also assessed on. Well, those are the practices. The first one was that students go out and take an assessment. One of those outside providers. Our district is also going to provide the pathway portfolio. But we just received notice from the state that here. Is that we are data to all our students of review. This is the first year that our for the state is allowed to have. So now we have the local programs in place now in October 10th to help all of these students. It is not optional, they will have to take the assessment. Again, if they don't pass this way, they don't have another pathway that they can go on. From the beginning, I said, it's think about it. So the third, I wanted to just cover the special population that I stated earlier. On the Department of Education website, they give extensive information for 3 populations: students with disabilities, English language learners, or any students that are experiencing homelessness. And they have an email that we find that the parent can click on to learn more if you need assistance with how to help students fall in each category with additional support. So again, this is the data that shows how many students in ELA and math will be taking with them. And that is New Jersey. Yes. Because this is here that I showed earlier, when the school, the score in the middle of the is at 725. So then when you are higher, these was when teachers be helping students pass, like, if they don't, they stay. Right. Students have they stay. So when How would they do it? So they're like kindergarten. The way our curriculum is set up, we say that text is aligned to the things. So if you start to talk about the final that. So it's embedded in their instruction. The one thing that we'll have now too is that we just have when they so they'll have a sample of that be embedded in their instructions to help them with learning material or just how to understand it. We also together on a team and figure out what we have after school session or tutorial or something. Just got to see mandated the broadcast or anyhow 2 days ago that they have to take it now. The law firm is with the benchmark score at 75% to go across the nation. And the fact that they did was in January, where they were doing portfolios, they worked up after school, and students were able to come in. They think about a week that they were able to complete that assessment portfolio. 2 weeks,
Be an action program to help us.
You all.
No additional item that is added that we're asking permission to create the program to help us see. So it's going to be a different program as well. Every 3:30, it's going to be.
Well, I think the outside assessment, they don't. They know that it's something that they should have a deadline with it. After they incorporated that, we have to retest them. Some things like that. It's one of the things we have. Can they see?
There's a restatement in October 2016, but there's other requirements, you know, let's say to you the fact that things privilege will turn around. There's big requirements that will help the student pass.
Definitely.
Okay.
So
That we know offset the test.
originally, it was the pathway 2 and pathway 3 that was always available for students up until 2023. All right, we were all came out 2 days ago and they say that this is what we have to do. So pathway 2 again, the there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 other outside ways at this test. For a English language arts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4 back. So that's outside. And then the other way is portfolio assessment that we start in January, that we offer. And the third, we're beginning now the second option.
Different responsibilities. What are those who are having a real hard time get to where they need to be? I understand guaranteeing sometimes there's something that they're missing. What are we going to do?
But that's a great question. I'm not but I'm familiar with working with, right? So when I was at it's too big. Teachers have to meet with students to see what their strengths and weaknesses are. Another thing that we work on the board is that they have in the process. These seniors are going to see their results and they're going to want to know why. So they're not going to be left alone to figure this out. But this isn't just in the seniors that it's sort of to be taken for every grade level. It's, at student conferences, what we call it, is when we give them the opportunity to get better data, formative, meaning day-to-day, not just career. We did well today. Let's talk about it and figure it out. And they're going to typically see it's you need to chunk words together to understand something. Maybe you need to have a reader back with that reasoning. So they will be providing what we call it on our secret lesson plan. It's differentiation. All right. So their lessons and their teaching need to be differentiated.
So they take this test in the 11th grade. Is there anything that the students at the beginning of their 11th grade year to get them prepared to take this assessment so that the numbers are higher?
I think these numbers are reflected because it's new this year, because I asked that myself, this is new for me, and I saw this. And what I was told is that this is last year's results too. It may not look so here, but everybody, 99% are going to pass this component of the graduation requirement. And of course, maybe they didn't feel it. I think that's the reason why these were what these for. But there is targeted instruction and support that we provide. And yes, you do want to look at it again, because, let's go back and find time. If we know that in 11th grade they're doing that, then we want to share ninth grade that they're getting from this thing. 10th grade, and then when it comes time for 11th grade. But with the new score that's there, that's 7.5, that's why I really think another reason for why we have to do.
Are we offering the state seat revenue? District court is on site.
She asked if we offer SAT prep in district medical, this at SAT test made Saturday. So we do offer them that level of support, but as far as exactly where it's at, I'll have to find that out when they're doing that. I'm sorry. Thank you. It's your class. Now I'm going to
Yes, I have a question. I'm reading this on a word. Right. Please, did 3 times right?
They did part of the portfolio assessment that they're going to have to write about. So while they're using this emerging learning standard, that's available to all, that all states have. So a student will have to write the portfolio, and there's a sprint that shows you exactly what they have to do. I didn't put that up there. But let's say I want to write a narrative and inform an explanatory. That's just one piece of the portfolio. They still have reading and writing here as well. So it's a week-long process that I think is about 5 or 6 different things that they're going to eventually come together and get that. That's how it is for all of our writing, that you have 3 different types, and they're exposed to all 3. All right? So they are exposed, they're taught, but then, and this is what we call it a choice. Right? You give them an opportunity. I can't tell you that you have to do that. If you have to perform it, you get it. And when you take ownership of that, then we hope that your creative juices come out.
Hiring teachers is difficult. Can we hire the 2 subjects, English and math, hire those for now, especially since we're paying this honest today's group?
When you say hire, so we will be offering, and what they've always did in the high school is have an after-school component where teachers in the district, they sign up to teach these students to help them along the way. And this goes back to the other question too, to give them the support. Now you're asking me of hiring more teachers for English language art. We hire teachers based off of our student enrollment. And So we want to make sure our English language arts classes are covered by certified teachers to ensure there's been a teacher shortage around, but we've been hiring a lot, and you'll see on the agenda this evening too. But that is a question outside of the normal day. We are going to be having to provide additional support, and that will be by certified teachers. So we have to reach out to them. They'll apply for the position. It'll be on the agenda, but that is another layer. Okay, and my last presentation is on our access testing. So access testing for ELLs, these are our students who we are now, the state and bilingual code states that they are multi-language learners. So you'll see through this presentation that we go back and forth from ELLs to multi-language learners. And this state is a comprehension and communication assessment that all students who are identified with getting ELL support, that they have to take this test. Ms. Arlene is our supervisor for bilingual and ESL, and she'll come up and share some proposed actions after I give the data of the students' assessment when they took the test last year. So what does Access Test stand for? It's a secure, large-scale English language proficiency assessment. 100% of the students identified as ESL take this assessment. This assessment is provided to kindergarten through 12th graders. And the goal of it is to help school districts monitor students' language development if they are identified as an English language multi-language learner. We also look at students' individualized progress. The goal is for students to exit the ELL program. And so with this assessment, it forms for program expansion and revisions. The students are tested on their comprehension and listening skills. And within that, they're looking at their literacy, how they're reading, their oral language, their reading, their speaking, reading, and writing. So when the students are assessed, they are assessed on 6 different levels. And it goes from lower to up. So for example, on an entering level, that's a student who's really not speaking any of the English language. And they are using social language, cues, pictures, graphics to understand how to communicate. The second level is beginning, is where a student may have some social English and some academic language that they understand that when you're saying in math that addition is an academic language term, they may understand that, and they're able to communicate that. They also may have some visuals and graphic support. Third is we have students who's been here and now they have some English with some academic language as well as graphic support. Students who are on the expanding level, they know and they use social English in specific and technical academic language. Bridging is level 5. Students use social and academic language, and it's compared to other students, peers that are not identified as ELLs. And then finally, a student who reaches this category, it's called reaching, is that they use the social academic language. It's the highest level that they are measured at compared to their peers. And this, once they get to this level, they are exiting the program for ELLs. So the way that the data shows for our students who were tested this year, it's by grade level. So what I'm going to focus on kindergarten right now, because 59% of those kindergartners, think about 5-year-olds who came into our district, identified as an ELL, they're on level 1. They need more exposure to the language. And as you can see, 59%, 20%, a small number, it's less than 10% of those students in kindergarten who are on the highest level. So entering, emerging, developing, expanding, bridging, and reaching. But then you can see on this graph, a student that's in 12th grade, 17% of them, they come in, maybe developing, but then 11% are at the expanding category. A lot of our students, if you look at the red, which shows that they are emerging, and if I went back again here, emerging is level 2, and that's beginning, and they're using some social skills. What drew to my attention here that I'd like to bring to yours is look at our 8th graders. 37% are developing, 18% are exiting, 21% of our 10th graders are exiting. So what this data now allows us to do is look at each one of our students and see what additional support is needed for them. Another way to look at the data, we've clustered it by grades, elementary, middle school, high school, and all grades. So it's showing from K to 5, 28% of the students are entering, 19% are beginning, 37% are developing. And if you did look across here, if we focused on developing in all grade levels, 30%, you see that it's consistent across the boards. If we look at the data by gender, we see that female versus male, and it's pretty equal in regards to 16% to 19% are entering developing compared to 39% and 45% of them. I mixed that up. I said entering. This was entering and this is developing. Achievement by race. So our Asian population, Black population, Hispanic, and multiple languages, and our white population of students entering in 50%, 47%, 39%, and 55% is, again, normal for, that's the Black race that they are at developing compared to like the Asian 13, there's 0 for there, and it varies. Any questions on this slide about the subgroups? I know, right? I would like to draw your attention to from 2022 to 2023, they were compared. Now, when they took the test, they were broken down by the comprehension, listening, literacy, language, reading, speaking, that we've made growth. Last year, 22% compared to 36% in comprehension. They comprehended the material. When they had to do the listening component and understand the information, 38% last year compared to 56% this year. Literacy, it was 0% to 10%. You see the growth. Oral language, 12 to 23. Reading, 16 to 22. Speaking was consistent. Writing, students writing, those narrative tasks, or whatever choice they made, we saw growth from 1% to 8%. And then composite is, again, composition, 0 to 9%. So over the 2 years, we are seeing growth in our student population in regards to how they are doing on state assessment for access. Now, this slide right here it goes to some of the questions that you asked about individualized teaching and learning and supporting students. The data that we received here, these are actual student. One student who took the test in 2021 compared to 2022. They didn't make, they stayed the same. 11 students in grades who was in first grade last year, and now the next year, they moved up 73%. So this is the type of data that we give teachers. They have the student names on there, and now they're able to target those students individually of what they need so that they can continue to grow and learn. So that we have data like this, and this is a great way to look at our individualized students. And now, as we close out, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Orlean, who's going to talk about our proposed actions. Wait, any questions for me about the data? I'm sorry. We got to make just.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Danny Orlean, and I'm the supervisor of ESL and World Languages. Okay, I'm going to first start with my first day on the job. My first day on the job, Dr. Tomasa handed me a book, and the title of the book was Bilingual Education Code. So he told me everything you need to know about bilingual education is right here in this book. Consider it your Bible. Take it home, read it, and learn it, and you'll be okay. But there was only one problem. The bilingual code expired February 12th, and there were several amendments made in the bilingual code. So after learning the old code, July 12, 2023, the New Jersey State Board of Education adopted changes to the requirement of the bilingual code. So I was now charged with the task. I was handed a 100-page document of all the changes and amendments that I had to relearn. It was not an easy task, but I did it. And the changes that are made were designed to help New Jersey public schools improve the academic programs of multilingual learners. To give you some of the updates. So in the past, like Mrs. Perkins stated, the terminology that was used was English language learners. The word English language learners is now seen as a deficit. So now in the new code, they change it to ML, which means multilingual learners. And the reason why they changed it is because they want school district to see that our ESL students they are an asset to the school. They speak different languages. And also they come from countries rich in culture. So we need to embrace all of them in the school culture. So I'm excited that this month we will be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. And now the state has included now, before we only provided services for kindergarten to 12. So now they decided they're going to extend it to pre-K 3 and pre-K 4, which is a challenge. The benefits of including pre-K is that we'll get more funding to expand the program and to hire the necessary staff that we need to run an effective bilingual program. But it's a challenge because most of you may not know that the pre-K 4 program is in the school, but pre-K 3 is all over. Am I right? Pre-K 3 program. Yes. Our department will also be responsible to monitor them this year. And the other update is they're requiring mandatory training for teachers, administrators, and staff. So pretty much, the state wants us to train everybody. And that's a challenge, and we are trying to address this year. We have a year to put everything in place. And they also included a variety of documents that must be translated to communicate with parents. And the other thing is that they want us to address is the subgroup SWIFE, student with interrupted formal education. So now we are charged with the task of creating a new program for our SWIFE students. We don't know yet what it's going to look like, but I have a year to figure it out. But we will. I already have a plan in place. Special education now. So the state wants local school district to put clear procedures in place to identify special education students and to also provide, to describe what type of service should we provide them. So later on, I've created a plan and I will share that with you later on slide. And they also want us to create an equitable pathways for MLs, which means that multilingual language learners, district must make every effort to include multi-language learner in all of their programs. That include CTE programs, gifted and talented, because too often people assume that our multilingual learners are not smart. They are. And this is why they change it to an asset base, because we do have multilingual learners that are gifted and talented. As a matter of fact, our valedictorian this year was my former student. And she was an ESL student at school number 9. And when she came, did not speak a word of English. And she graduated number 1. And now she'll be going to Princeton University. So we're doing a lot of great things. So the other thing that the state wants us to do, the curriculum alignment. So now we are charged with the task, we have a year to do all this, of looking at all the district curriculum. And we have to align them with our WIDA standards. I will explain that later on. Let's look at our demographics. It tells a story. So as from in August 2023, we are servicing a total number of 941 students. And that number includes our active students, our decline, and our F1 and F2. And what F1 and F2 means, our former students. When students exit our program, we are responsible to monitor their growth. And in the new code, local school district must have a clear procedure, a plan on how they identify students or exited students, which is our F1 and F2 for 2 years. As you can see, at the high school, we have a total number of 250, the middle school, 244, and elementary, 447. This represents all the languages that we are servicing. As you can see, Spanish is the highest. 75% of the students that are entering into our program now are Spanish speakers. The second highest is the Haitian Creole population. And then the third now is Ukrainian. It used to be Polish, but now it's Ukrainian. So now those languages are very important because it drives our program. So school district must put in place a special program. It used to be called the alternative program. In the new code, it's now called language instruction educational program. So we are charged with the task by looking at all the languages. And now, in addition to providing ESL, we also have to provide a special program for all these for the Spanish population, for the Haitian Creole population, and for the Ukrainian population. Anybody have any questions before I move on? Yes. It's 4.5 in the state of New Jersey, but in other states, it could be 5. But in the state of New Jersey, it's 4.5. Oh, I will explain that later on. Yeah, but this is what drives our program. I will be talking about the program, but it's the languages that helps us decide what type of program we should have. Okay, as you can see, the student growth population of our ML. In October 2020, we had a total of 469. 2021, 494. 2022, 621. And now look at August. It's telling a story, isn't it? It's a big story. 941. It used to be special ed was the biggest population in the Linden Public School District. But as you can see, the data is showing us now, it's no longer special ed. Now it's ESL. So we really have a lot of work to do. And so think about the number 941. As of yesterday, we have a total of 204 students yet to be tested in September. So we have a lot of work to do. So our student population is growing. We have a lot of work to do. So this year is going to be a year of planning, and putting programs in place to restructure the bilingual ESL program. Because the program is expanding, but the structure is the same, and that will not work. So we need to reevaluate the whole program so we can come up with a better program to service all of these students. So this is what our program looked like. Okay, as you can see, school 1, school 2, school 4, school 5. This is what it looked like. These are the places where our ESL students were. And I couldn't understand why. It didn't make sense to me because there were students who were going from, they were from school 1, they were going from different places. As you can see, school 2 had the highest. The numbers were not equally, it just didn't make sense. So what we decided to do, we did a needs analysis of the department. We did an audit of the department. So we implemented new changes. And this represents the changes that we're doing right now. And what we had to do is of course, I had to fill out a bilingual waiver from the state to implement the following programs. So starting in 2023, 2024 school year, our elementary school, school 1, school 4, school 5, school 10, will have a high intensity program. And at school number 2, we will continue with our bilingual Spanish program. And at school number 6 now, we will have a Ukrainian and Polish program at school number 6. And at school number 8, we have an English as a second language program. And at school number 9, we'll continue with our Haitian Creoles program. And what high intensity means is that children receive 2 periods of instruction every day. 1 period is their their English as a second language, and the second period could be in reading or tutorial class. So when I looked at our ELL math score, state score, and I realized that our multilingual learners, we need a lot of help in math because math has, when you look at the test, it's mostly word problems. So they lack the vocabulary to do well. So therefore, I created a leadership team. And what we're looking at to see what can we do with that second period? Should we focus on solely reading or should we incorporate math as well? And the bilingual part-time program, students are scheduled daily for their development reading and math, and 1 period is their English as a second language. So middle school, in the middle school at McManus and Seoul, we have a sheltered instruction program. Sheltered instruction program is the content academic teachers are trained in teaching our multilingual learners. They receive about 15 hours of professional development. And the student receive 1 period of instruction every day by an ESL teacher. For the high intensity, which I already explained, at the high school, we have a high intensity program. So one of the things I have to, as the supervisor of multilingual learners, I have to make sure that every program that is offered, in the district, and that we are in compliance. Just gonna continue. So what are the proposed plan? I have to create we'll be creating a SIFE program, which I explained earlier, standardized special education procedure. We also are establishing a newcomer procedure, parent outreach program. We have our first parent outreach program September 9th at Wilson Pond, where we will be, I have partnered with the technology department, where we will be helping our families to fill out the lunch form. How many of you are filling out with that lunch form? It's complicated for a lot of parents. So September 9th, parents, we will provide food, we will provide drinks and music, and we will have volunteers who will be there just to help them fill out that form. And as I stated earlier, the state is mandated that all curriculum is aligned to our ELD standards, our can-do descriptors, and our reader language proficiency. This is very important. And the reason why it's important is because the can-do descriptor tells the teachers where the multi-language students are, what they can and cannot do. And what is great about the reader language proficiency indicators, what it does, most of you are familiar with backward design. It tells the teachers, this is what at the end of that level, that Ms. Perkin mentioned all the different levels. So the proficiency indicator tells you exactly at the end of that level, this is what they should be able to do. So if they're not doing that, then we need to modify our lessons. So I've created a leadership team, and then we're going to spend a lot of time doing professional development to ensure that this is taking place. I'm going to go real quick. Of course, the other thing that I have done, we've incorporated online data to monitor student progress, because we are responsible, especially for our F1 and F2s. We have to monitor their progress. And if they're not doing well, we have to come up with a plan to address their needs. And it all has to be documented. So what I've done this year is also we are incorporating online professional development, because all over the code, there's professional development. So we're going to be utilizing online professional development to help us with our professional development plan. And the other thing that I'm also doing is our department will be creating a handbook. And then faculty and staff. One of the goals, most of you are aware, we can train teachers, you can train. Training without coaching does not work. It doesn't work, because our teachers become frustrated because they get that training for a couple hours, and after that, they're left on their own. And it's not easy to teach multilingual learners. So one of the things hopefully we'll get new funding. As you recall, I stated pre-K will be included into the account, which will give us more funding, more money. So one of the things that I would like to do with our new funding is to recruit elementary and secondary multilingual learners and structural coaches. And they will be responsible to support teachers of multilingual learners. I'm referring to the academic content teachers, to model lesson and to create leveled material, to even co-teach with the classroom teacher, to provide targeted intervention for MLs, to plan and provide state-mandated professional development and academic content teachers. Because in the code, there are a lot of mandates for professional development. Our teachers are teaching. They cannot teach and provide professional development at the same time. So we need to come up with a plan. And the number two is there's a new broadcast that came out yesterday in which the state wants the local school district to make every effort to create bilingual program. And especially that our numbers are most 75% is Spanish, and our district is becoming a multilingual district. So we really need to look into that. I will be exploring that. And the other thing is, here are some of the challenges that we're facing today. As you can see, the numbers from 2020 and the numbers from 2023 our population has skyrocketed, and it shows no stopping because we have over 200 students that need to be screened in September. Our challenges increase population, new language instruction program for pre-K 3 and pre-K 4, a new program for SWIFE that we district are required to now put in place. New language instructional procedures for special education. What I have done to address that, I created a language proficiency team. And when students with special ed are referred to our program, the first point of contact will be the language proficiency team, will be evaluating their 504 and IEP plan and to come up with a plan before students are screened for ESL. And then the other challenge, we've expanded the program now to service 11 school. As you can see, the oversight is big, a lot of oversight. And also the other one is increased professional development for support staff, teachers, and administrators. And also the state wants us to create a pathway for the seal of biliteracy. And one of my I'm proposing that we, with the new funding that we get, to create a supervisor of ESL and world languages for pre-K to 5 and secondary supervisor of ESL and world language from 6 to 12, because our numbers is growing and we have to do whatever it needs to meet the needs of our multilingual learners. Do you have any questions? Students with interrupted formal education. These are the students that come into our district with no formal education whatsoever. So they can be in the 9th grade and they are performing at a kindergarten level. So now the state wants us, we have to have a program for that. We don't know what it's going to look like, but I have to put something in place. Any more questions? Yes. No. No. Any more questions? They only give us a year to put it all together. And right now, I'm the only person and the secretary that I share right now. But we're going to have to put a plan in place to address all of this. Yes. Oh, I'm done. Yes, I'm done. Okay, that's why I said, is there any questions? I'm done, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Juncture.
That's
where the Peruvians from. That's the South. The beats.
No.
Please. Amari, you need to tell them, no, we need to say that. They're trying to keep these. Trying to keep these comments short. Sorry, Karen. No, we're talking about the board.
So much.
Stories after. You know, they say that.
Brianna, did you leave this for me? Thank you.
I was actually saying we should have had coffee here tonight.
Joe, you came one tea today?
Oh, I forgot your IC today.
Thank you, Ms. Arlene, and that concludes the superintendent's report.
Mrs. Perkins, are we going to, at this time, get into the agenda?
Yeah,
Time right now? Well, welcome back. Mrs. Orlean, I want to thank you. That was a very, very good presentation. ELL is a new well, it's not a new program, but to the board, it is new. And there is so much for us to still to know. So we would like to invite you back to our board at some time in the future so you could continue what I know that you have a lot more to share. So we are looking forward to the second presentation where you could complete what you started today. I would like us all to give Mrs. Orleans a hand clap for all her hard work. So the next part of our presentation right now, oh Lord, I mean our meeting. We're gonna go to our attorney's report.
Thank you. I have two items that I'm recommending that the board approve tonight. Both are settlement agreements that we've already discussed. And each agreement will allow us to amicably and efficiently resolve legal disputes on terms that are favorable to the district. Just one change on your agenda. On item 2, it looks like it references an incorrect employee number. That employee number should be 7261. So John, if you could just make the change.
Which one, the attorney's report?
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Carrillo,
Yes.
Ms. Cintron,
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz,
Yes.
Ms. Pino,
Yes.
Ms. Rosada Quesada,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
Ms. Armstead,
Yes.
and Dr. Berghammer.
Dr. B, you got to vote. You got to vote.
Oh, sorry, present. Yes, say yes. Our next agenda item is our education report.
Education Committee, upon recommendation of Superintendent of Schools and Assistant Superintendent, presents the following motion to the Linden Board of Education for approval. I approve item 1 through 38. Can I get a second, please? Respectfully, ask for a second. Second.
Roll call.
Questions?
Oh, sorry. Any questions?
I have a question. Can we speak to the items that were added to the agenda 36 through 38?
Yes, yes. So item 36 is basically approving all of the past curriculum items that have been approved by past board meetings from prior years that were not revised. So we have to be able to just ask permission to reuse them again because those are not being revised. So those are the items.
Are you
And
saying,
then 37,
in 36, are you saying one of the areas that we have fallen short in is our science? Are you saying that we can continue with the same curriculum for science, or are we going to look at other options?
no, science was revitalized. It's one of the items that's this is any item that was not adjusted on the curriculum. So it's just, any grade level within that band that was not touched.
So to answer your question a little bit more, thank you, Mr. Oliveira. So this is, all of our curriculum guides need to be in alignment with the New Jersey learning standards. And so this, it's not just science, but all of these, there were more revisions made. And so that's why it's on the agenda to seek approval.
Okay, all right, I understand
No.
now.
And then item 37.
And
pertains-
38.
And 38 pertains to the superintendent's report that she presented in terms of the NJGPA. This is asking permission to create that program to be able to provide the services for the seniors and approve the dates for them to be able to do the makeup test.
Okay.
So then for September, we'll be asking to appoint people to do the tutoring.
Yeah, she had mentioned it on Tuesday that
Yeah.
she would introduce it on Thursday because we didn't have an opportunity to review the test scores and her recommendations. You remember Tuesday? Yes. Thank you very
Thank you.
much, Mrs.
Thank you.
Perkins. Yes. Any other questions before we move to the next agenda item?
We have the roll call.
All right, roll call?
Ms. Carrillo,
Yes.
Ms. Cintron,
Yes.
Mr. Dela Cruz,
Yes.
Ms. Pino,
Yes.
Ms. Rosada Quesada,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
Ms. Armstead,
Yes.
and Dr. Berghammer.
Yes. Motion passed. You didn't come in. I was reading this. Our next agenda item is our personnel report.
Oh, before we, can I just ask that item number 45 be tabled for tonight?
On the personnel?
Personnel?
On personnel,
45.
45, we just need to review something in regards to it.
Page 61.
61.
On page 61.
So make a motion to table it. I'd like to make a motion to table item number 45 on the personnel report. Okay. Ask for a roll call, please.
Ms. Carrillo,
Yes.
Ms. Cintron,
Yes.
Mr. Dela Cruz,
Yes.
Ms. Pino,
Yes.
Ms. Rosada Quesada,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
Ms. Armstead.
Yes.
Dr. Berghammer.
Yes.
Move the rest.
Personnel report?
The Personnel Committee, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, presents the following motions to the Linden Board of Education for approval. All appointments and reappointments are contingent upon and may be modified based on student participation and the district's receipt of sufficient state school aid and other revenue funding. I approve items 1 through 56, tabling number 45, and I request for a second.
Second.
Any questions before we move on? Roll call?
Ms. Carrillo,
Yes.
Ms. Cintron,
Yes.
Mr. Dela Cruz,
Yes.
Ms. Pino,
Yes.
Ms. Rosada Quesada, Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
Ms. Armstead,
Yes.
and Dr. Berghammer.
Yes. Yes. Now, Mrs. Perkins, we have some amazing people in our audience. We have some amazing people in our audience right now who have done a remarkable job in our district, and they have gotten some new positions. Could you? please?
Our administrative staff. Well, we'd like to say congratulations to all of our staff members on here who were appointed this evening and approved. We also have some new administrative staff who've moved up or appointed acting, and we'll start from the high school. We have Mr. Devaney, who was transferred to special services.
Mr. Devaney, I would love to hear from you. I'm sure this board would love to hear from you. Yes.
Good evening, Mrs. Perkins, Ms. Lewis, Mr. Oliveira, and members of the Board of Education. I'd like to thank each of you for the opportunity to assume my new role. Almost a decade ago, I was a graduate student interning in the Student Services Department here within the Linden Public Schools. Subsequently, I was hired as a school social worker, appointed as a vice principal, and this evening I prepare to transition to my new role as supervisor of student services. As a member of the Linden Public Schools community, I consider what I do to be a work of heart. When deciding to apply for this position and possibly leave Linden High School, I reflected on my professional journey as a teacher, school social worker, vice principal, and the hundreds of students who I have assisted through the years. After further thought and the idea that I could assist over 6,000 students along with leading the Student Services Department, I was further inspired and knew it was time to make the move. I often recall the words of a professor in college, "When you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life." As educational leaders, when our love and passion are evident to others around us, we inspire them to become the best versions of themselves. Miss Lewis, I have some very large shoes to fill. However, you have inspired so many of us and created a culture that will enable me to support and grow the amazing work that our Student Services Department does with our students and their families each day. I am both humbled and honored and eager to begin my new initiatives and programs that add to the many successes of our district while helping to strengthen our students academically, emotionally, and socially. As a lifelong learner, I understand that education can change your life. My philosophy is and always will be, together we change lives. Thank you.
Thank you. One of the reasons why I like these, one of the reasons why I like to hear from our employees is because it's another way of knowing and who you are. And I want to hear more from you and the type of person you are. And I'm so excited that you have this job because I know you would add value to the life of each and every one of our students. Thank you.
Well, we are replacing Mr. Devaney with Nicole Campbell, and I know Ms. Campbell is here.
Good evening. I just wanted to take a minute to say how deeply appreciative and excited I am to stand before you today to accept the position of Vice Principal at Linden High School. This moment represents not only a significant milestone in my career, but a personal commitment to the growth and success of our district. I want to express my gratitude to Mrs. Perkins, Ms. Lewis, Mr. Oliveira, and the school board members, and Mr. Kuntz for entrusting me with this vital role. I have been an educator in Linden for 12 years, from substitute to paraprofessional to teacher and now vice principal. Linden has allowed me to flourish in so many ways, always pushing me out of my comfort zone to better myself for our children. I would not have been able to accomplish any of these roles without the constant support from my mentors. One of them is here, Ms. Long, colleagues, friends, and family, especially my father and brother. Your wisdom and encouragement has been instrumental in shaping my career and who I am today. Throughout my professional career, I have always made it my personal goal to foster positive relationships with our students because they are truly amazing and valuable. I promise to continue that goal while promoting excellence and positive change in everything that I do. Again, I thank you for your support and trust and look forward to collaborating with all of you in achieving our goals. Have a great night.
Miss Campos, I want to thank you because you were my daughter's teacher. You see, education is not a destination. It is a journey, and you are living proof of that journey. Keep moving along, keep teaching, and keep changing lives. Thank you.
We also have with us this evening, I'd like to say welcome again to the Linden Public Schools District. We have Miss Maria Rivera, who will also be serving as the vice principal at Linden High School.
Very emotional listening to her talk, so I'm sorry. Good evening, Board President Bergheimer, Board Vice President, Ms. Thomas, board members, Mr. Dela Cruz, Ms. Armstead, Ms. Centrone, Ms. Pino, Ms. Carrillo, Ms. Flemings, Ms. Casada, Superintendent Perkins, Principal Coons, community stakeholders, parents, and staff members. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all and share a little snapshot of myself, just so that you know who I am. After years of working in a hospital, formulating, restructuring, managing many departments, I lost my job because regulations changed and I now needed a degree to hold my position. Due to lack of confidence and guidance, I flunked out of community college the first semester after graduating high school, when I went my first semester in college. However, as an adult, after losing my job, I returned to school. Unsure what the path held, I remember asking my guidance counselor, when will I graduate? And when will this be done? And she responded, don't rush. You will get there when you get there. After graduating from college and during a conversation with the mayor of my town, where I raised my kids, he said, Maria, you love business and you love teenagers. Mix it. I had no idea what the praxis was, but that evening I picked up the book, I booked my test, and said a lot of prayers while I studied for that test. After successfully passing the test, I became a teacher and returned to school for my MBA. During that time, it was obvious that I wasn't busy enough because I formulated and taught the adult evening phlebotomy program at the local vocational high school. I then went back to school to earn my EDS. And throughout that period, I was asked to join a collaboration in formulating a welding program between the vocational high school and the local community college. I have no idea how I keep up sometimes, because if that wasn't enough, I returned to school and have completed all my courses for my doctorate degree. Now I'm a doctoral candidate. I can't believe I can't pronounce that word at Seton Hall University. This is the spirit, commitment, and passion that I will bring to this district. Teaching has taught me that we need to utilize a wraparound approach, including our parents and our community stakeholders, to move our students forward. As an instructional leader, I utilize a humanistic and supportive approach to mentor, coach, and support our staff to ensure are moving forward and our scores demonstrated. Know that in selecting me, you have selected a student who became a parent, who became a teacher, who is now an administrator, who uses all that experience in my resourceful nature to assist in analyzing and identifying the needs of the students, teachers, staff, and the community for us to continue to be successful. Thank you.
Welcome, Ms. Rivera. You know, as we sit here, we see we lose a lot of teachers and educators and administrators, and other districts get them. But you know what? We also get some interesting people to come and join us. Thank you. Welcome.
And as we continue to ensure that we're meeting the needs of our district, I'd like to say a big thank you to Ms. Rochelle Crawley for taking on the assignment of serving as the acting principal at school number 5.
Evening. I am truly humbled and grateful to be standing here before you as the acting principal of School 5. To our board, Superintendent Perkins, Assistant Superintendents Ms. Lewis, Mr. Oliveira, thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you for trusting me to fulfill such an important role for the time being. To the School 5 community, I look forward to working with you and ensuring our students begin their school year in a safe and collaborative learning environment that promotes academic excellence, fosters social emotional growth, and celebrates student diversity. In the words of educator Rita Pearson, every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connections and insists they become the best they can be. I truly look forward to being that champion who brings out the best in our children and staff. As a product of Linden Public Schools myself, I value the education we provide and the importance of preparing our students for a successful future. Having this opportunity to lead School 5 is truly an honor, and I thank you, thank you, thank you again.
Miss Crawley, you are a graduate of Linden High School. Miss Crawley is a graduate of Linden High School. You go, girl. I want to thank you. But before we move on, I know several of you have brought family members with you. And if there's any family member or friend who would like to give a shout out to their loved one, we would love to hear from you. All right. Thank you very, very much. It was really heartwarming to hear from all of you. You are the leaders. You are the ones that are bridging the gap. You are the ones that are building the dreams for our young future, the future of America. Keep believing, keep loving, and keep teaching our children. We thank you. Our next, as we move along, our next agenda item is our finance report.
Finance Committee, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools and the Business Administrator Board Secretary, presents the following motions to Linden Board of Education for approval. I would like to approve items 1 through 33. I respectfully ask for a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Could you just go over item number 33?
Yes, tonight we are approving 3 routes for our, as was mentioned before, the pre-K program or K3 that's being housed in Roselle. The amounts that we're approving tonight, that was just a quote that was done. This is authorizing us to put together a bid to cover us for the remainder of the school year.
No more questions? Roll call?
Yeah. Ms. Carrillo?
Yes.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. Dela Cruz?
Yes.
Ms. Pino? Ms. Rosada Quesada?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Armstead?
Yes.
And Dr. Berghammer.
Yes. Our next agenda items, building and grounds.
Okay. You can tell school is starting because my pages went from one page to like, God knows how many. The Buildings, Grounds, and Security Committee, upon recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools and the Business Administrative Board Secretary, present the following motions to the Linden Board of Education for approval. Number 1 through number 19. I ask for a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Carrillo?
I would like to recuse myself from items 12 and 13. Yes to all other items.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Rosada Quesada?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Armstead?
I would like to recuse myself from items 12 and 13. Yes to all other agenda items.
And Dr. Berghammer.
Yes. Our last agenda item, planning and policy report.
The Planning and Policy Committee, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, presents the following motion to the Linden Board of Education for approval. We're asking for approval for the first reading of policy 4151.2, titled sick leave, as well as policy 5142.1, school threat assessment teams. I respectfully ask for approval for the first reading. I respectfully ask for a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Carrillo?
Yes.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Rosada Quesada?
Yes.
Ms. Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Armstead?
Yes.
And Dr. Berghammer.
Yes. Our next agenda item, comments from the public. Members of the public desiring to make a public comment may come forward at this time. For those watching online, if you wish to make a comment or ask a question, please utilize the raise your hand feature on the online meeting platform. Please begin your comments by stating your name and address. Individuals are invited to speak on one topic at a time, and no individual will speak more than once until all individuals so desiring have spoken once. The public is reminded that to ensure the efficient and orderly operation of the meeting, members of the public will be limited to speaking on at one item for 3 minutes.
My name is Craig Hellern. I live at 120 Donaldson Place. I'd just like to say it's good to be back here in front of Linden, Board of Education. I am looking forward to working with members of staff, administration, and, any people that could use my help in doing whatever we need to do, to make Linden the best school system in the state. I'm looking forward to any one-on-one meetings with administration I've asked for, and any recommendation that I've made for work around different schools, such as Deerfield's Terrace School, I believe number 9. And I believe that's it for tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Good evening. Tanya Grisette, 422 Southwood Avenue. Good evening, Mrs. Perkins. Congratulations again on your new position. Madam President and Vice President, I do have a few issues that I'd like to discuss. So if I do run a little bit over, I'm hoping I can get a little extension on my time.
my number one issue is scheduling. I know it's school starts in a few days. My son had emailed his guidance counselor June 14th before school was let out with some issues with his schedule, with no response. I had asked him a few days ago if we heard anything about scheduling, and he said no. So he forwarded me the email that he sent to his guidance counselor, which I forwarded to her from my email with some of his call outs that he had. We got no response. That was Monday. I resent my email with the forwarded email yesterday, and I did finally get a response this morning. It was stated that with the changes that he needed and the influx of schedule changes that are taking place this week before school begins, that he should call her. He called her 3 times today and left 1 voicemail, and we heard nothing. So I, with him, will be up at the high school tomorrow to get this straightened out, but I just wanted you to be aware of the situation because he tried to handle it before school was let out back in June. One was a class he took last year, he has again this year. The other issue was, I believe there was 2 classes that he was interested in taking that were not on his schedule. So I don't know if it was, too many, students in those classes, but we never got a reason why. Those were some of the scheduling issues. He did make me aware that I guess there's a conference last year in the spring with the guidance counselors, a one-on-one with the students for their, I guess, recommendations for the students, as well as some of the things that they're interested in taking. So some of the things that were discussed during that conference was a washout because nothing is on the schedule that they had discussed. So I didn't know the point of the conference. Let's see. One of my other issues is, for those that don't know, I'm the PTA, Union County PTA president. I'm also the liaison for a few years. Thank you, Mrs. Carter Blocker. For Linden, all of the PTAs and PTO at School 4. So I would like all the administrators to know of my position. So if there's any issues with the PTAs or PTO in their buildings, that they can come to me. So I can help resolve any issues or give them feedback or some help that may be needed. I have personally, over the past year, reached out to principals, and I don't know if it's because my email is out of district, but I don't get responses. I don't know if it goes to spam or it's just not received. I have had close relationships with some principals, but not all. So communication is a big thing. Mrs. Perkins, I know when Amari started pre-K, you were principal at School 6 for your first year. And hey, look at us now. He's graduating and you're superintendent. I think you've always been a proud supporter of PTA. PTA is Parent Teacher Association. That's Parent Teachers Association, not just parents.
Good.
I would really hope to see, we can't make everybody be PTA members. Most of the membership fees are $8 to $12. So you're talking $1 or less a year. Sam, I mean, you can back me up on it. You were my VP and then president after I left School 6. But we need the support. I'm not just looking for the membership, okay? PTA is a nonprofit organization. We run a business, okay? Right now, for this school year coming, 23-24, my son is a senior. I'm not on the board at the high school. I'm signed on as a treasurer at Seoul, at School 2, and at School 1, because I stepped up as a parent who has one child, but I care for the thousands we have in town, and I didn't want those other PTAs to be deleted because they didn't have people to step up and be board members. Now, I will tell you that I've been PTA, again, Mrs. Perkins, my son was in pre-K when she started there. I think I became a board member. Thank you again, Mrs. Lakia Carter Blocker, when he was in first grade. And I've been a board member at many schools since then. I work retail. I put in 40 to 50 hours there. And I also work part-time at my church here in Linden, which is probably another 15, 20 hours a week. I could still hold board positions. There's a lot of stay-at-home moms, families, different family members. My aunt was on the board at School 6 for many years, finally retired, I believe. Not on paper anyway. It's hard getting parent participation, but we also need staff and faculty participation as well. I did have one teacher reach out to me from School 1, so hopefully I can sign off on the treasurer position there, that she did step up and say she would take that position at School 1. So that was my second thing. My other one is communication. Going back to Dr. Robotosi, Dr. Hazelton, Dr. Tomasic, we met, but it was brief and we never got anything out of our meeting. We used to hold PTA president meetings with the superintendent. I would love to see that again because I want School 10 PTA to be able to help out School 1 PTA. So middle school PTA be able to help out with McManus. I've signed on as membership in plenty of different schools, and I'm on the board for the state. I don't have to pay a membership because I'm a state member. You know what I mean? So, but I still do it. So I can be there and I'm entitled to then vote when they have elections and different meetings and things to vote on. Okay? So communication to me is a huge piece, and I think there's a little bit of a loss in the district because we see different groups, different organizations in the city. Things get communicated district-wide, but we don't see that PTA from, School 10 having certain fundraiser or a dine-in night or whatever at one of the restaurants going district-wide. Why should it only be in that one building? We should be sending that out district-wide because I might not like Chick-fil-A and my school is having it that night, but I might like, I don't know, Applebee's and want to go help and support the other school. I'm a Linden supporter, not just the high school where my son is at, all schools. Okay? So that was just something I asked. I don't know. When I reached out to principals, I was reaching out because I wanted to know when events were. So now I'm really going by what comes and it is approved in your agendas because so I'm kind of making my own schedule so I kind of know what schools are having what events at different times. But if we had like a weekly or a monthly newsletter of what's going on, I mean, that's even something that I can try to put together to email and it can be put out so it's district wide. My other thing is in talking about communication, we all know social media. Some of us love it, some of us hate it. There's a lot of, I call them Facebook trolls, okay? I can read and scroll and not comment. There's been a lot of comments, especially the past couple of weeks in regards to the class of 2024 and how costly everything is. We sit here at a board meeting with how many parents? We have PTA meetings. Dr. Berghammer, you've gone to PTA meetings when we were up at the high school. We have thousands of students. And there might be some online, okay? But they're quick to go to social media and complain. Some go online and make compliments. This isn't 1980 or 1990. Prices have gone up. Caps and gowns are expensive. Yearbooks are expensive. Dances are expensive. I have a boy, but some of my friends, go into these banquet places. You can't get a sit-down dinner for $30 a head anymore. So we need to do some fundraising, or we need to pay out of pocket, or our kids don't get yearbooks, they don't get caps and gowns, and they don't go to the prom. So this has been some of the complaining that has been going on. So where are those parents now? They're at home on Facebook, probably complaining about the things I had to say this evening. So with that being said, for those parents that are here and are listening online at home, please come to PTA meetings and come to some board meetings. Voice your opinion, voice your ideas, and come and help out the PTA at different events so we can raise more money to cut the cost on some of our expenses. Final thing I had to say was I did reach out to, and I don't know who's 10-month or 12-month employees. I think it was Mr. Lorenzetti, still part of music. I had a woman that I met at TD Bank. She wants to donate a piano. Her kids, she lives here in Linden. She has gone, her children have gone through schools in Linden. We were there for PTA issues, but just her and I talking, she said, you sound like a person that can get some answers. So I did shoot him an email. I don't know if he's working or, whatever, but if you can pass the word on. I do have her contact information, so I don't know if he'd need to see pictures or go see her or whatever, but she would really love to. It's covered, and she just wants to donate a piano, and she thought, where else but Linden Public Schools? So with that being said, that's all I have. Thank you. I'm sorry if I took too much time.
Thank you, Ms. Grisette. If you can email me from your email, all right, and I'll respond and I'll make sure that it gets out to the principals. You touched upon a lot of areas that Dr. Berghammer and I are talking about in regards to strengthening our relationships with our community and also highlighting the work that the PTA is doing. So some of the things that you spoke to in regards to communication, yes, we will set up meetings with all PTA presidents and building administration. It will be multiple to ensure that we're communicating and having a vision. You also spoke about a calendar. On our district, on our website, there's the link that says district calendar. And when you click on the district calendar, it also gives a breakdown of each school. So after tonight, the secretaries are to add everything from the agenda that was approved and to put that on that calendar. So you can click on by school or you can see the whole district view. So we definitely want to publicize that more. As far as the counselor at the high school, if you can forward that email to us as well, and our team will make sure that if you're going there tomorrow, that it's set up for you. I've known Amari throughout his whole career, and the ultimate goal is to ensure that he's ready for school. Okay? You're welcome.
Kia Carter Blocker, 35 East Elizabeth Avenue, Linden, New Jersey. I felt that I needed to come up and speak about some of the, I'm gonna try, not to be emotional, about some of the new hires who got promoted. Starting with Miss Perkins, Miss Lewis, Brian, Nicole. These are people who motivate me on a daily basis. I started this district as a single mom, just trying to find my way. I worked as a hall monitor for 8 years, and now I'm a secretary. I got my associate's degree, being pushed and motivated by Ms. Perkins. As I tried to do the secretary role, Annabelle, Ryan, Ms. Ortiz, they would stay after. They would teach me things that I needed to know as, a role that I wanted to go into. These people, they dedicate helping people. So the people who you have now promoted, they are just heartfelt, like just good people. Nicole is my peace at work. She's like my calm, she's everything. So I just wanted you to know that these people mean so much to me. And that's it. Thank you.
Ms. Carter Blocker, we feel the same way about you and your dedication. Thank you.
Good Good evening, Claudia Dolan, Linden Education Association Vice President, 1309 Thomas Ave. Life has been crazy, so it's been a couple months since I've been here. I just wanted to take a moment to congratulate you, Mrs. Perkins. You were my first principal as I became a teacher in this district. And I'm pretty sure that the first time I sat in your office, I cried and probably cried a couple times after that. But look at me now and look at you now. So thank you for all of your inspiration. I look forward to continue to work with you in your new role. I also want to acknowledge our custodial maintenance and secretarial staff for doing a wonderful job for making our schools safe and just ready to rock and roll for a new school year.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Diana Garcia. I live in 509 Amherst Road. This is my first time here. My son is about to start kindergarten next week, so I've been a stay-at-home mom. I work from home mom for the last like 5.5 years. So we had like avoided putting my son in pre-K just because of the fact that we just didn't want him to go to school 9 because of the whole situation for the principal regarding when we had put him in. And I had emailed, I had spoken a couple, months ago when I had enrolled my son. My son has a lot of severe allergies and things like that, that we had kept him at home for a while. And I wanted to put my son into a school that I did trust. And by zoning, we are zoned to school 9. My niece had went to school 9 because she lives in the same household as me. And she ended up for her last year going to school 10. For certain reasons. She went to school 10. I graduated from Linden High School. I went to Linden High School for the last 4 years. So I saw firsthand how both schools treated my niece and stuff like that. I prefer school 10 for certain reasons. I prefer the principal. Like I said, I graduated from here 12 years ago. I like the principal. I trust the principal. And since it is my son's first year, like without me, with all the allergies that he does have, he needs EpiPen, he needs like 4 other like allergy medications and things like that just to go into school, let alone. I had asked if he could be, just transferred and stuff like that. My smallest niece is going to school 10, so beneficial. It would have been easier for us to have both the children in the same school because I would have to drop off and pick up both the children. And with school traffic, it was not physically possible. My niece lives about 3 blocks away from us and about car ride, maybe 3 minutes, 2 minutes by car ride. It was just not going to be physically possible. And her parents, they work early. I work from home. I was going to just be able to take both of them. But since I was denied, I wasn't going to be able to do it. And I mean, everybody, at least half of you guys, maybe half of you guys have children. And to me, when I enrolled my son, they gave me a packet of papers to fill out for his allergies. I still have not given in that packet of paperwork for my son's allergies because I did not know where he was like physically going to school. Yes, I'm zoned to school 9, but I was told when I was given that pack of papers, the nurse will call you when it's time for her to meet you. I said, okay, because I was willing to give him the papers to whatever school he was going to. I am zoned to school 9. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll give it up to God at whatever point, wherever school we're going to. I called about 2 weeks ago because my son developed asthma within that time period where I handed in the papers because of his allergies. And at that point I call and I'm like, hey, I just need to know what school my son is going to because now he developed asthma and I need to know if there's any other forms that I need to fill out. I left a message, then I got a call back the next day. They were like, oh, we looked your son up in the system. He's going to school 9. And they were like, oh, we can't give you any forms here. Here's the number to the nurse and things like that. I said, okay. I got the paper about a couple of days ago saying that he's going to go to school 9. But technically to me, since it is his first time in school also, I just feel like the papers came in so late too to let you know, like, here you go, here's the school that he's going to, and here's all like the list of the school supplies. I saw it online. I bought everything about a month ago, but still, just to let you know, it was pretty late to send in all of the stuff that he needed for school about a couple days ago. Because I'm sorry, but it's just like, he literally starts school next week and it's like, here's a list of stuff that you need to go buy right now. It's a little bit like, to me, it's just a little bit ridiculous that, we have to go out of our way to now do all of this other stuff, like right now, last minute. And now it's just like, it was, to me, a little bit messed up because I wanted to put my son's hand in somebody, a principal that I did trust. And in the time period of like a year, because now in a year and a half, School 9 has had so many principals. And I was denied because of the fact that we're zoned, like, if I would have lived across the street from the house that I lived in, he would have gone to 10 with no issue. With no issue. But because we are zoned to where we're zoned just for literally like 4 steps, because like if I would have crossed the street with 4 steps, we would never had an issue. And the school 9 is like maybe literally, and the sad thing is where we lived is overpopulated now, and it's like by Hasidic Jews, yes. So it's not even like our neighborhood is filled with so many little kids. Like they're not going to our school. It's not like that, but we were just denied. And like our reasoning, like my reasoning wasn't good enough, which I understand. Fine, it's not. But at least if I was going to give my son's hands to Linden Public School, because I went here and I had no problem, but I wanted to give it to somebody that I trusted. Someone that I saw firsthand how the education went for my niece who lives in my household. But I was just denied without like, oh, well, here you go. No, I was just like, no, you can't. And it was, to me, it was messed up. And it was like, then I sent an email to your old superintendent and my email was ignored for months. It was just ignored. I sent it in the end of March with all my explanations. Because after I was denied, I had sent an email explaining every single thing that I'm explaining right now. And I was denied. Like he ignored my email for months, ignored it. And to me, like if you just wanted to flat out say no, you could have just said no and you didn't have to ignore my email for months. And like I said, I obviously, like I could have sent my son to like a choice school, yeah, whatever, but I didn't know that existed until like a month ago. And now at this point, it's a little bit too late for me to even do that. And I can homeschool my son, yes, but I want my son to obviously make friends and things like that. I don't want him to, to have no friends outside, like I don't want him to be, at home forever. I want him to have like a social life. But also it isn't fair, like as a parent, you want the best for your child. And I feel like it's not fair because most people that their kids are grown already. So you don't remember what it's like to have, younger children. But it isn't fair because I, as a mother, as a first-time mother and my only child, I want what's best for my child. And that's all I wanted to say, because it isn't fair because I want to put my child's hand in somebody that I trust. And I saw firsthand how that principal treated my niece. That's all I want to say. Thank you. I don't know.
Mrs. Perkins, do you have anything to say?
Ms. Garcia, I want to thank you for coming up here this evening. In order to begin building trust, we have to know where and what we're thinking and what we're doing. We will be calling you tomorrow from my office to talk about your concerns. My goal is to connect you with building administration, the nurse, and anything that you need. We are making, our district has policies, and our one policy on attendance and sending around the school area, it states, and it has guidelines. The board is the one who approved these policies. So when we're following those policies, I can't speak of another superintendent. And
I think you need to shut it down.
Right. Okay. So thank you for sharing that. And again, I will be calling you, we'll have you call you tomorrow to set up a meeting to work this out.
Mrs. Principato?
We'll talk about it tonight.
Yes. Mrs. Garcia, once again, I really, really thank you for sharing this information with us. As a board, we understand one thing is that we are as strong as our weakest link. And if we see you have shown us today that we may possibly have a weak link, so we will work on it. I assure you, thank you again for your information. Is there anyone else have anything to share?
Rob Mangel, 18 Trinity Place, Montclair, New Jersey. LHS Social Studies teacher, proud LEA president. And much to my heart is yelling at me not to think about next week, but my brain knows it fully has to happen. And I can't help but think about next Wednesday night. Next Wednesday night, anticipation will be high. There will be an electricity in our town, in the homes of our students, in the homes of our staff members. Buildings will be prepped. Like Ms. Dolan said, our secretarial staff, our custodial maintenance staff have worked diligently to prepare the buildings. Our 10-month staff returned Tuesday. I know many of them have returned already to prep their classrooms, to prep their office spaces, to make their spaces as welcoming for our young people as humanly possible. It's a testament to the fact that the staff in Linden Public Schools has and will go the extra mile for our students. And so I think about Wednesday night, the anticipation and the excitement. I think about everybody getting their first day outfits ready, getting ready to show off the sneakers and the suits and all of the hullabaloo, for lack of a better word. My brain is not operating fully today, team. And then I think about Thursday night. Students start to arrive home and family members, friends ask, how was the first day? And I know that the answers will vary. You got a kindergartner, they might come home super excited, super amped about it. You're going to get a high schooler coming home and we didn't do anything. I was bored. I was a high schooler once. We were all high schoolers once. That was the answer. But undoubtedly, the staff at every single one of our buildings is going to put their heart and soul into educating our young people. It's what we have done. It's what we will continue to do. Whatever comes on Friday morning after Thursday night, know that we are moving in the direction to educate our students. We have always worked together to that end. Dr. B at new staff orientation yesterday said that, she and I like to fight about things. And while that's true, the one thing we have never fought about is the extra mile that we will go to educate and to work for our students. I'm looking forward to an exciting school year. I'm looking forward to an impactful school year. I know you all are too. Let's work together to get it done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Is there anyone else? Do we have anyone online? Okay. I know it's getting late and the time has come for all board members to make comments. But in light of certain of tonight, I prepared a board president's report that I would like to share. The time has come for the Linden Board of Education to welcome our students, teachers, or administrators, or supervisors, and our support staff back into our buildings and our classrooms. We miss you, and we welcome you back. We hope you had a wonderful summer vacation where you had an opportunity to spend time with your family and friends. Some of you left the city to visit friends and families while others stayed home. But regardless of how you chose to spend your holiday, we hope you had a wonderful time. As the new school year begins, this Board of Education is committed to making your 180 school days happy days, because we believe that learning is beautiful and believing in your dream is magical. Students, as you enter your classroom in the next couple of days, we want you to know that we are all here for you, to support you, to guide you, to develop you, and to teach you how to believe in your dreams and how to develop those dreams. All we ask is for you to stay focused, listen to your parents and your teachers, because they want to be the wind beneath your wings. They want to prepare you for the future ahead of you. Your teachers are passionate, creative, and innovative. They try their best to understand who you are, what you want out of life, and how to get where you want to go in life. And with the support of parents, family members, friends, and the Linden community, working together, your 2023-2024 school year will be your best year ever. During the summer, this board had the opportunity to spend some time with some of your teachers and administrators, and they all said the same thing. They loved their school, they loved their students, and they loved being a teacher or a school administrator. They were all very excited and prepared to welcome their students back. Is there any better way to start our new year? We also had an opportunity to meet and speak with several of our new teachers and administrators, and they are all very excited to join the Linden team. We walked all our schools with the superintendent, the business administrator, and our maintenance crew. We are doing the much needed construction work on several of our schools. We have reinforced school safety at some of our schools. We are completing bathrooms and playrooms at several of our elementary schools. We have worked on the gyms at several schools. We replace flooring, we remove asbestos, and we intend to keep improving the physical appearance and condition of our schools whenever time permits. Our construction crew are working very hard and are doing an excellent job getting our schools ready for our students to return. In the last 2 months, the superintendent and the staff worked around the clock to prepare for our students' return. We updated our curriculum and our student handbooks. We added after school and adult programs. We improved our CTA, ELL, world language, pre-K, and special education programs. And we spent a lot of time discussing and improving our school safety and security measures. I will be remiss if I do not talk about school safety. As a city, we are blessed because overall, we have a great group of students. When we look at what is going on in the world, we are doing okay, but we could always do better. We know that all our parents and board members who have children attending Linden Public Schools are concerned about school districts, bullying, and school violence. But we are aware that nowhere is completely safe anymore, not even in your own homes. This is a reality of the world we now live in. But this board wants to assure you, I'm almost finished. We have taken every effort possible to reduce and stop school violence and to keep our schools safe. But keeping students safe is the responsibility of all of us. We must all work together to keep our children safe, because when one student hurt, we all suffer. Parents and students, we urge you, if you see something, say something. If your child is acting strange, reach out for help. Do not believe it is just a phase. Trust your instinct. Get help. Do not end up on the 6 o'clock news. If you believe your child is being bullied or is a bully, talk with someone. Get to the bottom of the problem. Doing nothing is not a solution. No one should feel unsafe while in school. A good and safe school environment benefits all of us. Always remember, it takes a village to raise a child, and working together always works. Thank you.
All right, now.
Well, I would like to hear from our other school members or board members.
I was gonna say, I think the board concurs with everything that you just said, Dr. B.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's cold in here. I'm cold and I know it's getting late. Everybody want to go home. We got to go to work in the morning. But all I want to say is congratulations to the new hires, to the new teachers and everything. I appreciate each and every one of you. And it's going to be a rough road, but it's okay because we got each other. And we got each other. We there for one another. No matter what goes on, you get angry with us, you get upset with us. But guess what? When you look to the right, you got somebody. When you look to the left, you have somebody, and it's us. So we got you. So teachers, new hires, everyone, parents, thanks for coming. It's cold, y'all. I want to go home. How about y'all? Y'all want to go home? I'm tired. But once again, seriously, congratulations to everyone. It's great. Everybody's doing a great job. And thanks for coming. And yes, the schools look beautiful. The schools look beautiful. We got the pictures and everything. So kudos to everybody. Thank you very much. It's cold. Go ahead, Dinah. Thank you.
I just want to say to Miss Tanya, thank you. Thank you for what you do. PTA, PTO. As a member, I was before in my kids' school, I know how hard it is to put everything together and to make sure that we help the kids and the teachers to get done whatever is it that they have an agenda. Thank you. As a board member, and as a parent, I will definitely be joining you again and see what I can do, how can I help in that place. To all the personnel, all the teachers, all the members of the Linden School Education, thank you. Thank you for putting this year together to making sure that our kids have everything they need and that is ready. It take a long, hard work, a lot of work, and you have done it. So thank you, guys. Thank you. And lastly, to the parents, get involved, guys. Get involved. A lot of parents, because of work, because of life, they forget about how kids are doing at school. They don't pay that much attention how the kids are doing. Get involved. Is the school responsibility to educate your kids in math and science and whatever it is, but it's your responsibility, it's our responsibility at home to show and to teach our kids respect. And we enforce it at school, but we as a parents, that's the most important thing that we have to show our kids. To be able to be good kids. I think we forget about that sometimes. So please, parents, get involved, get together with your kids, get together with the school. If you don't know, the personal that your kids is going, go, knock at the door. They're always there to open, to talk to you. So just get close and be involved with your kids' life. Thank you. Have a great night.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out once again. 2 months in a row, we see a big turnout. And I get to see why, because we got a lot of promotions, a lot of hiring, and we're moving forward. We're moving this district forward. So I want to congratulate our retirees. Enjoy your retirement. You all deserve it, especially when you put so many years behind, being behind these kids and running after them and cleaning up after them and doing everything that you do. Our facility maintenance throughout our district, we can see our air conditioners working, because it's true, I am cold and I'm never cold. Okay, so it's working. And one thing I am noticing that I've worked to 2 schools already. Lighting, our lighting has gotten better, and it's going to continue getting better. So as I walk in these buildings, and my goal is this year to go and walk the buildings more. If you walk in and you see how bright it is, that means we have a bright future ahead of us. And this is what I've been fighting for the past couple of years, and we have been moving. Okay, so I want to congratulate also our new staff. And once again, those that have gotten promoted. Those, obviously, they are promotions that are well-deserved, and that means that you weren't overlooked, that you are stepping up to the plate, doing what you have to do. Thank you. And Tanya, the same way you were thanking Ms. Blocker, I thank you because you got me into the PTA in School 6 also. So you do have a couple of people here on the board, and you have parents here on the board that have gotten involved and that are still getting involved. I might not have gotten involved this past couple of years because of things in my life, but more, I am going to get involved more again. Okay, so I'm going to be out there. And the public, I want you to know, if you haven't heard already, this board has stuck together. And this board has listened. And if you're not getting a response from our administration, you can go to anybody on the board and we will question, and I'm sure you will get a response. Please don't feel that nobody's hearing you, because this board is listening to you, listening to the public, listening to the staff, and listening to our students. And as we are going to open up this year, we're going to have a student from the high school, I believe, sitting on the board, correct?
Yes.
So as you can see, we are going different. Believe you me, that this board is listening to you guys. Anything you have to say or any comments, reach out to us. And trust me, we will go to the right people and we will make it happen. One way or another, we will try to help you. We are listening and we're there for you. That's why you put us on this position. Thank you very much. Have a great night. And let's go home because I'm cold too.
Okay. Okay. Good evening. I'll be quick. Congratulations to all retirees. Thank you for your service and please enjoy what is ahead of you. It's also important to acknowledge and say thank you to all summer staff. My condolences to the family of Quinn Perkins, to the new staff that we will be having on board. Welcome and thank you in advance. To the individuals advancing in their careers, congratulations. Ms. Perkins and Ms. Orlean, thank you for your presentation. I think it's very important for everyone to be aware of all of that, including ourselves. Ms. Tanya, thank you for your questions, comments, and concerns. It's very informative to know all of that. And I also agree with some of the comments you have made in terms of social media. I think it's important for parents to make those, to be a part of the PTA. I think that's very, very important. To all involved in the remodeling of some of our schools, thank you for the awesome physical changes that have been done. It's awesome to see schools that I have previously attended just amped up and ready for the new school year. And as the start of the school year is very near, I wish the best of luck to all students and staff and also to us, the board. I'm excited.
I will also try to be quick. Good evening, everyone. I feel like so much happened during this board meeting. It was a very exciting one, and I always look forward to them. I am extremely excited for a new school year. I look forward to all that we've accomplished together. Thank you to all the staff that took part in remodeling and renovating our schools. They look amazing. I see the pictures all over Instagram. So thank you for that. And thank you to our faculty and staff for your dedication to our school system and our students. I know that it's not easy, but I'm looking forward to working with you this year to make sure that our children succeed. Congrats to all of our new appointments. Ryan Devaney, I love all that you do for our school, but I love your mother more. But I'm so excited for you. You really are someone that's really hands-on in our district, and I'm really excited for you. To Nicole Campo, you as well. I see you at every event. I see you at things that maybe have nothing to do with necessarily your school. I see you stepping out, and I really appreciate all that you do for our district. So thank you. I'm really excited for you as well. To Mrs. Crawley, you're just so amazing that we have to have you all over the school district because last meeting we had you somewhere else. So thank you for stepping up. We really appreciate all that you do for our district. And also welcome to Maria Rivera. I'm really excited to have you. I'm very happy to have you come on board. You are highly qualified and deserving for this position. So a big thank you to you for stepping in and taking on that new role. Congratulations to our administration and faculty for passing the QSAC. For our growth with our new NJ graduation proficiency assessment. I know that there's more work to be done, but again, I'm hoping that myself and the board can work with you guys to ensure that we are pushing our students forward to pass. Congratulations on our growth and on our growth with our access testing for ELLS. Thank you to Mrs. Orlean and Superintendent Perkins for your amazing presentations. I know that they took a lot of hard work. And then thank you to all that came to this meeting to speak. To Ms. Tanya, thank you for all that you do. I can't ever complain that I'm busy because you clearly are doing with the work of 10 people, 20 people. So thank you so much for all that you do for our district. I know that you don't have to. You said that your child is in the high school, but for you to step in other schools just shows your dedication to our school district. And we're very lucky to have parents like you here. And then also to the parents and people that came to speak at this meeting, you know, as Sam said, we have the same sentiments. We're here to help. Feel free to reach out. You know, we don't have all the answers, but we are willing to listen and see what we can do to best accommodate whatever situations you guys are dealing with. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to not only, you know, voice your concerns, but also come to the meeting because that's an extra step that a lot of parents, you know, sometimes don't do. So thank you for coming. We appreciate what you guys had to say, and I'll cut it short because I know everybody wants to go home.
Good evening. First, I'd like to start with the retirees. To David Bolduc, Diane Kaleha, and Robert Kraitzar. Thank you for your services, and we wish you well on your retirement. My condolences to the family and loved ones of Quentin Perkins. Also, thank you, Mrs. Perkins and Mrs. Orlean, for your presentation. As far as the congratulations, Mr. Devaney, thank you. And I like what you said with Together We Change Lives. That is very true. Nicole Campo, congratulations. Maria Rivera and Ms. Crawley. I know School 5 is a blue ribbon school, and I'm sure that they will be in good hands with you leading it. As far as the renovations, I would also like to thank the staff members working throughout the summer in preparation for the new school year, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Ramirez, AKA Rowley. Thank you. I am delighted on the approval of the Special Olympics program offered within the Linden Public School District for early childhood and elementary level students. Not only will these students benefit from it on a physical level, but they will also gain emotional and psychological benefits, including self-confidence, social confidence, increase their self-esteem, and decrease in anxiety. I personally can relate to children with special needs, and I know the importance of constantly reassuring their doubts or fears. I am pleased and proud to see that September 15th through October 15th has been proclaimed as Hispanic Heritage Month. This national recognition will be acknowledged and celebrated in all schools in this district. I look forward to seeing the activities, ceremonies, and the events that will be displayed. It's exciting to see that the school new year will be starting next week. The first day of school can bring a host of emotions for both teachers and students. I hope that the opportunity of learning and educating each other, socializing with peers, and reestablishing our routines goes smoothly. It can be fearful to leave our comfort zones and be concerned about the upcoming challenges. I wish you all well and also wish my fellow board members the best on how we can handle all these matters. We want the best for this district, and we intend on being as involved as possible. Wishing you all a safe and happy Labor Day weekend.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming this evening. I agree with everything that my colleagues mentioned. I do want to congratulate all of the new appointments. We have a lot of great things happening in the district. I'm happy that we're pushing the district forward and that we're sticking to all of the changes and improvements that we said we would in the past, and things are progressing. I also agree with the PTA comment. Ms. Tanya, I am on the PCA for School 8. The last few months of the last school year was a little rocky. We had a lot going on, but we do need the help. There's only one person right now who is putting things together, and that's the PTA president. And that should not only fall on her. I encourage all parents and teachers to just get involved as best as you can, because it truly does take a village. I thank you all for coming. Let's have a great school year, and we'll have more to come at our next meeting in September. Thank you.
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you very much to all the board members. We really look forward to the new school year. I know you're cold, so we can. Yes. Now we're going to talk, our next agenda item is new and unfinished business. Do we have any comments about a new and unfinished business at the moment? If you don't, I just need to ask a question about our adult education program. When is it going to start and how are we going to roll it out?
So our adult education, what we're going to do is do something very similar to what we did for the Special Olympics. We're going to send out a survey to the community to be able to get what is it that they need, so we can then allocate resources that's going to meet the needs of the community.
How much money we have in order to actually start our adult program? Do you know anything about funding?
No, because we have to first assess the community to see what types of programs, if it's things that we can do internally, it might mitigate the cost for the programs.
Mr. Sarapilia, do you have any idea of how we're going to plan to launch our adult ed program?
No, but I could get it to the board, before the next meeting.
Please, I'm sure everybody is curious about how we actually going to launch our board program of our adult education program. What we would like to see is at least what type of courses we're going to be offering in the night program, how much money we actually have to utilize. If we don't have money, do we need to start getting some grants written in order to make this program possible? And I really want to see what classes. I'm really curious to see what we actually would be teaching.
I can say that I know that Miss Orlean has definitely set something up. One of the agenda items from the past was to set some ESL classes for adult learners. So I know that is something that has been put in place for our community.
There is one class I would really like to see be taught in our night program. I do not know if it's possible. It's just something that, I do not know if we could do it, but we have a lot of parents who are complaining that they are having difficulties doing homework with their children because of the math curriculum, because of the way we learn is not the way they, I know one-on-one is two, but getting to two, the way I learn it is totally different from the way it's taught today. And I really think it is very, very important that we could teach parents how to do homework with their children. What do you guys, any comments on that? What do you guys think?
I agree with you. Definitely parents need it. Because, you know, like you said, nowadays it's hard. Basic math is not basic math anymore. Solving a problem is not as easy as we had it back then because our children, if you see our scores, our kids struggle with math as well as they struggle with reading. So if we can help the parents move a step forward to help their child, I'm all for it. And I believe it's homework helper is what is called for the parents, so the parents can call there and get help at what the kids is doing with school with their homework, so they can have one step further, so they can learn from it. And I agree with that 100%.
Anybody have any more comments on that?
I agree. As long as it's not Common Core, I'm good to go. Common Core, I still have a headache.
Yes, okay. Lastly, thank you very much for all your information. The last thing I want to bring to the board's attention. This board, the superintendent and myself and community leaders were discussing what we could do to continue to bring our community together and to recognize teachers, students, and the general public or community. And we decided, and we would like possibly the board input in this, we want to create an award. And the award will be called It Takes a Village Award, where we could involve community stakeholders, teachers, students, everyone. And every month, the board could present 3 or 4 awards to people in our community, again, doing things for our community. I have had an opportunity to speak with a lot of owners of restaurants. Like, for example, I spoke to Walgreens, and Walgreens said they were so excited about it. They said that they will actually give free, come to our schools and give certificates for first aid classes. I spoke to CVS. CVS said they would like to teach a class in the night school about doing the dangers of opioids. You know, I've spoken to several restaurants, and the restaurants said they would love to donate gift certificates for students to come and, you know, eat at their restaurants. So I was surprised as to how excited the community is taking on to this award. It Takes a Village Award to celebrate the students. Like, we wondering about dress codes and what we can do for dress codes or what we could do. All of that could be part of these awards, where we could be recognizing students who come into school dressing good. Because sometimes punishment and sending him home may not be the solution. Maybe recognition. We have to try different things in order to turn things around. So I do not know if you guys have any thoughts on It Takes a Village Award.
I think it's a good idea. I think everything that you just mentioned is a great step forward for us.
Anybody else have anything to share about an award like this?
No, I think it's a great idea. I think it's a good way to focus on the positivity going on in our community. And I think it'll also push people to come to the board meetings, because if you're getting an award, you might tell a friend to show up.
Anyone else have anything to share? Okay, well then.
Yes.
Huh?
Just want to think on how small you start, like we're doing with the Special Olympics, because we're starting small. And it takes a village when you start small, how you grow. And when you grow, that's telling you you're doing good stuff. So we need to grow. So I say, let's go forward and put our minds together, get our public and survey them and see what they see out there that we don't all see, because we never see everything. A lot of people see more stuff than what we can see.
Well, you know, social media only talk about the bad. There's so much good going on out there. This is a new school year. We are the Board of Education. We are the ones, we are not to the back. We have to decide as board members, are we leaders or are we followers? What do a leader do? They create stuff. They create programs. They create initiatives. We also have another choice. We could look at the positive, create the positive, or let the negative consume us. This is what we do. This is what we were all put here to do. And I expect great things from not only each and every one of our board members, but our community. When I sit here every month, I hear Tanya talk. But then look at Erica. Erica is an example of a good citizen of Linden. She's here at all our meetings. Everywhere I go, Erica is there. You know, so if she can do it, we can all do it. I know we are cold. I want to say good night, but this is the beginning of a school year. Let's get it done. And I would like someone to close the meeting.
You know, we need to thank Donna too, because Donna's here all the time. Okay, right, Donna? She's here all the time. And she has a positive, you know, she smiles all the time and she welcomes us here. So Donna, thank you.
Listen.
Donna, thank you.
Dr. B, you know how you mentioned about the dress code?
Huh?
You mentioned about the dress code?
Yes.
Maybe like, now that I'm thinking of it, maybe like have like donations. You know how we have like the books that they could share or take, and maybe like donating clothes, maybe for kids who aren't able to purchase nice clothes, or the homeless as well, the homeless. Just a thought.
Clothing drive.
Like
Or
a
we
clothes
just-
drive type of, you know, donating to children that the parents can't afford the clothes, nice clothes and so forth.
Yeah. Well, Donna, I love you being here, but every time you come here, you put me to work. Yes. Anyway, so if we don't have anything else to say, I would like someone to make a motion to close the meeting.
Motion to close?
Second.
Roll
Everybody agrees. Everybody said yes.
Ms. Ferrillo?
Yes.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. Dela Cruz?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Rosada Quesada?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Armstead? And
Yep,
Dr.
yes.
Bergam?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming.
Ms. Cole, thank you.
Meeting adjourned.